Hello crafty friends, I'm Lien and I'm so happy you're joining me again on the Crafty Meraki YouTube channel today. I'm back with another bright and colorful floral card, and the best news, it was pretty quick to make. I didn't do any coloring for this. This is a really simple technique. It's called watercolor stamping, or at least that's what I'm calling it. It's been around forever, and I'm going to give you a couple of supplies you can do this with that you probably have in your stash already. Now the first thing you'll need is a stamping tool like the Misti that I'm using. I'm using the original size because the stamp is quite large, and also this is the only Misti I have. But you can use any stamping platform that you have. It should work, just anything that will let you stamp in the same spot over and over. The second thing you'll need is watercolor cardstock. We are going to do a lot of water techniques, and regular paper can't handle that. It will just tear and be messy, and you just need some watercolor paper. Now it doesn't have to be anything fancy. I am using the cheapest thing I can find here in Europe, and that's the Canson Montval 200 GSM watercolor cardstock. Now I do recommend you use a heavy weight cardstock. I'm using only 200 GSM. That's not a lot for this technique, and I did have some warping going on because of all the heat setting I did. So you've already seen what I did while I was babbling on about things you need. I am using my Karin markers today for this, but you can use dye inks as well. They just aren't precise, or it's a little bit harder to be precise, to ink up one flower and not the other one, but it will work. Anything that is water reactive and that's colorful will work for this technique. I'm using my Karin Brushmarkers. You can also use Zig markers, and I'm just coloring up some parts of the stamps in different colors, and then I can stamp that down onto my cardstock and then spray it with water to activate that color. And spraying water on the inks or the watercolor you use will reactivate that color and make it run and bleed together for a really nice loose watercolor look that doesn't require any effort at all. That is why I'm stamping the greens and the flowers separately, because I want to minimize how much they run together, and so I don't create some muddy colors on my cardstock. Now you can absolutely stop here, but I wanted a bit of a clearer line art, so I'm stamping it once more with everything colored in, and then I won't reactivate it with water again. This is obviously a wonderful technique for large floral stamps like the Reason to Smile stamp set by Crafty Meraki that I'm using here, but you can also do this with smaller stamps, and then you don't need a stamping tool or a stamp positioning tool. I did this before with smaller flowers and created a background, just some pattern stamping, and that works fine. You just won't be able to stamp in the same spot over and over, so your line art might not be as clear. It's still a wonderful effect, and I hope you try it out. Now to turn that gorgeous watercolor piece into a card, I die cut it with a rectangle die by my favorite things. It's the wonky stitched rectangles, and that leaves a lovely stitched detail all around the panel. I'm also die cutting a sentiment, and this is from Pinkfresh Studio. I will leave all the supplies listed in the description below. And I die cut that 4 times out of white cardstock and once from gold cardstock, and layered those together with liquid adhesive. This is the Barely Art Precision Craft Glue. I also put 4 layers of thick white cardstock behind my watercolored panel to add dimension to that as well. And that's pretty much it. I can just glue that onto my white note card. This is a top folding note card, and I did adhere a piece of watercolor cardstock on top of my white card base because I wanted the white to match the white of the watercolor panel. I am picky like that. And I just adhered the smile word die on top of that panel too, and to adhere the tittle and make it as high as the word die, I just use my jewel picker and some liquid glue again, and just layer it on top of the card itself. I don't layer that tittle all by its own. This Reason to Smile stamp set does come with a lot of sentiments. They're all really beautiful, and I love that they come with a larger smile word and then some basic typeface or basic fonts for the matching sentiment strips. So I just replaced that smile word stamp with a die cut today, but you can absolutely use the stamp in the set. And to finish up this card, I added some gold metallic pearls by Pinkfresh Studio. I'm just adhering them again with that Barely Art Precision Craft glue and my jewel picker. So this was obviously a very quick card to make, and I'm making an even quicker envelope to match. I'm using some soft gray cardstock for this, and I'm just using my We Are Memory Keepers 123 punch board to fold an A2 sized envelope out of that. I can then reinforce those score lines with my bone folder and glue my envelope together with that Barely Art Precision Craft glue again. And once that's done, I will add a very simple but really elegant design element to my envelope too. And I'm using the Same Reason to Smile stamp for that. I'm just putting that in my Misti because it's such a large stamp, and I'm stamping that in Versamark clear embossing ink. To match the gold details on my card, I chose to use gold embossing powder for this. This is a Gold Rich Pale by Wow, and look at all that shine you get. Usually I emboss something in white on my gray envelopes. That's a really elegant look as well. I really love how this bright card turned out, and it was super quick to make. I love this technique. Are you going to try it out too? I hope you do, and I hope you liked this video. If you did, make sure to leave a thumbs up on the video and leave your thoughts in the comments below. I would love to hear them. I'm back with a new card every Saturday, but I'm not the only one posting on this beautiful YouTube channel. If you want to see more inspiration from the design team members, make sure you subscribe to the Crafty Meraki YouTube channel. We would love to see you for more videos. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.